Hi everybody, so the Darwin wind turbine, where we left it last time was, should we all have a look at it and have a think about it? And it is one of the things that I love about the channel and I love about the community. I had such a lot of people sending ideas in that of course it's impossible for me to print them all because I'd be printing from now until doomsday and emptying my bank account on printer filament. So I chose two that I thought were pretty much representative of the ideas that were out there. This one is from Tony Jackson and this one is from Emil Davis. Now they're actually very similar. If I take the top off, what we see is a load of hyperbolic funnels. The hyperbolic funnel is extremely popular with you guys, and I can understand why. It makes sense to me. The air comes in, it flows across the surface, it's following a curve, it's meant to spiral to go in that centre, because hyperbolic funnels are what you find in those coin things, where you drop a coin or a marble and it rolls round, gets faster and drops down the centre. And it's also the design that's being used by Involux, who've done an awful lot of research on these hyperbolic funnel wind catchers. So the hyperbolic funnel was very popular with people, and we got lots of hyperbolic funnel examples, which I think was great. And as I say, this was Tony Jackson's, where he put the ribs on the funnel and he made it so that the whole funnel stacked up. So we got a stack of hyperbolic funnels. I like that because I did do a video on how to make hyperbolic funnels even if you don't have a 3D printer. And that was one of the things that really appealed to me because, of course, we've got a 3D printer. We're often talking to the 3D printers guys out there, but not everybody has got a 3D printer. And you can make hyperbolic funnels quite easily, actually, without a 3D printer. And as I say, check out the video where we made hyperbolic funnels using rubber balloons and bits of string. That you don't have to have a 3D printer to make Tony's design, which I really liked because it's pulls down the whole series of them, it stacks up to make the wind catcher, and I've made a top for it there. Now this top is recommended in the research because as the air flows across, we've got this curved top, it causes the least disturbance, and so we actually get more air going down there than if we had a flat top. So the domed top works an awful lot better. So there's some really great things about that design that I really, really liked. And then Emil submitted this design. He sent me this. Now Emil has got his own channel and I'm going to link to it with an example video at the end of this one, but he also put these up on Thingiverse, and the Thingiverse page is right here. If you want to jump across and grab that design, then Emil's more than happy for you to do that. I printed both of these at quarter the size so they would print quicker and not cost me as much in filament, but the size obviously are scalable. Emil's comes apart as a kit. There we go. And he's done it in these sections, which are the same sections that I did it in, but the cross section is again hyperbolic funnel, and the sections go together. He's got 6 of them to make the ring form that we were looking for. What I like about these is, of course, they're very scalable, and you can print them whatever size you like and whatever size is going to go on your printer, and you can print them one at a time. So you could print a really big version if you wanted to. You could do the same here, obviously, you print a big version. But I don't think this is as amenable to making it without a 3D printer. So though I think I prefer the design of Emil's because of its sectionality, I don't prefer it because I don't think it can be as adaptable for other people to be able to build it. It's really, you have to have a 3D printer for it. So these are 2 great designs that people sent me, and those guys I'm really quite grateful about it. It's awesome. And we're going to have a look at the performance in a second or two. They do exactly the same thing. So the hyperbolic funnel catches the wind, bends it down, and we shoot it out of the bottom here, which is exactly what we're looking for when we're thinking of the theory of the Darwin wind turbine and controlling that wind, having all of the generation on the ground floor. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Venturi as well, and of course a Venturi increases the wind speed. So further on down, you get your pipe there and you throttle it, you put a throat in it to make your Venturi at the bottom. That's also an excellent idea. It's just a separate part of it, and we're just looking at this wind catcher section at the moment, and when we get down to that bottom we'll start looking at the Venturi, and maybe we'll look at Wells turbines or something like that. But that is pretty much the design style that lots of people like. I like it too for those reasons, and certainly it is being explored in the literature if you want to have a look. Now this one works quite well because it has a large opening, and Emil designed it to go on a 110. As I say, this is a quarter size. I think one of the issues here with this one is that throat opening is a bit small, so it does force the wind down, but I don't think it forces enough, and so it chokes a little bit. So if you're watching this, Tony, then I would suggest that you open that up a bit more so that we actually get a better flow through of the wind rather than a bit more of a choking. But that sectionality here, where we section it that way, I thought was a spark of genius, actually, because that opens it up to be able to be made if you don't have a 3D printer. Anyway, enough gassing, let's turn this on and see if we can get some result out of it. Okay, let's test Emil's. There's an LED right there that we should be able to light up. Of course, since I did that video on the electric rocks, lighting an LED, yeah, well, you have to be a bit suspicious of it, I suppose. But let's turn it on and see. There you go, sure enough we can light the LED. And if I take that away, then of course the fan's going to stop because the wind is coming straight out there. So for bending this at 90 degrees, there we go, with sufficient force to actually spin that and light this LED, this design does an awesome job actually. So both excellent designs with their merits. Like I said, this one can be adaptable to hand build, and I do like the fact that it stacks up in that direction, but I do think that's a little choked and should be more open. This one, I like the fact that it's in sections in this direction because you can make it as big as you like on any 3D printer, and this hyperbolic curve does seem like a really good way to go, and that's backed up by the literature. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, for everybody who sent stuff in. Of course, we all have different ideas and different directions we want to go. One suggestion that I haven't mentioned was a rotating cowl. So you have half of it and you put a cowl on there, and on that cowl then you have a fin, and so the cowl will go around in the direction of the wind, blocking off this exit. The idea being that the air that would escape through here can no longer escape, and so it must go down through the hole. A few people suggested the cowl, but I want to mention Paul Rogers because he did a wind simulation of it along with the cowl idea. Now there were many other suggestions, including an invisible wall and so on and so on. Just so many good suggestions, guys. So if I haven't mentioned you, please forgive me, you are in my mind, but you know, there's only so much one person can do, but some great ideas. So keep them coming, we'll keep on working at it. I, of course, have my own way of looking at these things, and though I do really like the hyperbolic funnel because it does do the job, the ease of build outside of having a 3D printer is one of the things that worries me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again for everybody's help and suggestions. Hope you're having fun. Please do remember to like and subscribe. Oh, and click the bell notification.